How to defeat a narcissist who tried to hurt you. That's the title of this video. The most powerful revenge is the one they never see coming. The most powerful revenge is the one they never see coming. They expect your anger. They expect your tears. They expect you to chase them. They expect you to explain yourself, to defend yourself, and to spend months, sometimes years, trying to prove that what they did was wrong. What they do not expect is your silence, your growth, your peace, and your complete refusal to remain trapped in the game they created. A narcissist can often survive criticism. They can survive arguments. They can survive being exposed. But there's one thing many of them struggle to survive: becoming irrelevant to the person they once controlled. If someone with strong narcissistic traits tried to hurt you, the desire to have them back may feel understandable. When you've been manipulated, when you've been lied to, when you've been humiliated or emotionally exhausted, revenge can seem like justice. Yet, the reality is that direct retaliation often keeps you connected to the very person you're trying to escape. The more energy you spend trying to wound them, the more influence they continue to have over your life. The most effective response is not distraction, it is liberation. This is how you truly defeat a narcissist who tried to hurt you. What actually hurts a narcissist? Let's understand what actually hurts a narcissist. Many people make the mistake of thinking that the best way to get back at a narcissist is through confrontation. They imagine a dramatic speech. They imagine exposing every lie. They imagine finally saying the perfect words. Unfortunately, that strategy rarely works the way people hope. A narcissistic person often views attention, positive or negative, as a form of validation. So, even conflict can provide them with a sense of importance. What tends to affect them more deeply are things they cannot easily control. That is, losing access to your emotions, losing influence over your decisions, losing the ability to provoke you, seeing you succeed without them, watching you move forward without seeking their approval. Their power frequently depends on your reaction. When their reaction disappears, so does much of that power. So stop giving them emotional access. One of the biggest mistakes people make after being hurt is continuing to provide emotional access. They respond to every message. They defend themselves against every accusation. They explain every decision. They remain emotionally available to someone who has already demonstrated harmful behavior. This creates an endless cycle. The narcissist throws bait, you react. They throw more bait, you react again. The cycle continues. Breaking the cycle requires discipline. Not every accusation deserves a response. Not every insult deserves a defense. Not every lie deserves a battle. When you stop participating in the emotional game, you begin reclaiming control over your life. Refuse to be defined by their story. Narcissistic individuals often attempt to control the narrative. They may portray themselves as victims. They may distort facts. They may spread rumors. They may convince others that you are the problem. This can feel devastating. Many victims become obsessed with correcting every falsehood. But there's a problem. You cannot control every opinion. You cannot force people to understand your experience. You cannot spend your life chasing every rumor. Instead, focus on living in a way that consistently reflects the truth. Character eventually reveals itself. People who genuinely care about facts often notice patterns over time. Your job is not to win every argument. Your job is to maintain your integrity. So build a life they cannot control. One of the strongest responses to mistreatment is creating a life that no longer revolves around them. One of the strongest responses to mistreatment is creating a life that no longer revolves around the person who hurt you. Ask yourself, what goals did I abandon? What dreams did I postpone? What friendships did I neglect? What parts of myself became smaller to keep someone else comfortable? Now begin rebuilding. take classes, start a business, travel, exercise, develop new skills, reconnect with healthy relationships. Pursue interests that make you feel alive. The goal is not to impress the narcissist. The goal is to become so engaged with your own growth that their presence becomes increasingly irrelevant. Learn the difference between justice and revenge. Many people confuse revenge with justice. Revenge seeks suffering. Justice seeks accountability. There is an important distinction. If someone has harmed you financially, legally, professionally, or personally, pursuing appropriate channels may be necessary. So document facts. Protect yourself. Seek professional advice when needed. Establish boundaries. Report misconduct if appropriate. These actions are not revenge. They are responsible responses to harmful behavior. The objective is not to destroy someone. The objective is to protect yourself and prevent further harm. Master emotional detachment. Emotional detachment is often misunderstood. It does not mean becoming cold. It does not mean becoming heartless. It means refusing to allow another person's behavior to dictate your emotional state. A narcissist often gains power when they can predict your reactions. They know which buttons to push. They know which insecurities to target. They know how to provoke guilt, anger, fear, or confusion. Detachment changes everything. Instead of reacting immediately, you pause. Instead of absorbing their words as truth, you evaluate them objectively. Instead of defending yourself endlessly, you conserve your energy. Detachment transforms you from a participant in the drama into an observer of it. And observers are much harder to manipulate. So one of the hardest lessons many people learn is that closure rarely comes from the person who caused the pain. You may want an apology, an admission of wrongdoing, an explanation, genuine remorse. Sometimes these things never arrive. Waiting for them can keep you trapped indefinitely. Closure is not something another person grants you. Closure is something you create. It begins when you accept reality. It begins when you stop expecting someone to become the person they repeatedly showed you they are not. It begins when you decide that your healing matters more than their acknowledgement. Becoming impossible to manipulate. Manipulation thrives where there is confusion. The clearer you become, the less vulnerable you are. Know your values, know your boundaries, know your priorities, know your worth. When you know these things, manipulation becomes easier to recognize. You begin noticing patterns such as gaslighting, guilt tripping, love bombing, blame shifting, emotional blackmail. Awareness does not guarantee immunity, but it dramatically reduces vulnerability. The person who understands manipulation is far harder to manipulate. So let success speak for you. Some people spend years trying to prove their value to those who never appreciated it. That effort is exhausting. Your energy is better spent building a meaningful life. Success is not limited to money. Success can mean emotional peace, healthy relationships, personal growth, professional achievement, physical well-being, self-respect. When your life improves, you no longer need validation from someone who failed to recognize your worth. The opinion loses significance, and that is freedom. The ultimate victory is not making a narcissist suffer. The ultimate victory is reaching a point where their actions no longer control your future. Imagine waking up and realizing you no longer obsess over what they think. You no longer replay old conversations. You no longer seek revenge. You no longer need them to understand your pain. You no longer carry the weight they placed on you. That is real power. Because power is not forcing someone else to hurt. Power is refusing to let the attempt to hurt you define the rest of your life. So, the person who tried to break you expected you to remain focused on them. They expected your attention. They expected your energy. They expected your emotional investment. What they did not expect was your transformation. They did not expect you to heal. They did not expect you to grow stronger. They did not expect you to build a life filled with purpose, confidence, and peace. And that is why the most effective response to a narcissist who tried to hurt you is not becoming their enemy. It is becoming someone they can no longer control. Because the day you stop revolving around them, that is the day their power over you truly ends. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you've learned a thing or two. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you've not done so.